This plant can hurt you in seconds. Brush against it, and the burning may begin almost immediately. But before you reach for a shovel, look beneath the leaves. Rip out every nettle in your yard, and you may destroy an entire butterfly nursery before you ever see its wings. So why does stinging nettle hurt? Why do certain butterflies deliberately choose it for their young? Can people really cook and eat a plant covered in stinging hairs? And does soaking it in water produce useful garden fertilizer? By the end of this video, you'll know how to keep a small, controlled patch for wildlife, without allowing nettles to take over your paths, play areas, or garden beds. This is common stinging nettle, Urtica dioica. Its leaves and stems are covered with fine hairs. Some are ordinary hairs, but others are specialized defensive structures called trichomes. Each stinging hair has a fragile tip. When skin brushes against it, that tip can break away, leaving a sharp point that acts like a microscopic needle. Pressure then delivers irritating substances into the outer layers of the skin. The result may be a sudden burning sensation, itching, redness, or small raised welts. The intensity and duration vary, depending on the contact and the person. But the plant is not attacking you. It cannot move toward you or choose when to sting. These hairs are simply a physical and chemical defense that discourages animals from eating the plant. And that protection creates an unusual opportunity for creatures adapted to live on it. A female butterfly does not choose a nursery by appearance alone. She lands on a plant, touches its surface with specialized sensory organs on her feet, and tests whether it is suitable for her offspring. For several butterfly species, nettle passes that test. It is an important caterpillar food plant for the red admiral, peacock, small tortoiseshell, and several moths. Depending on the species, a female may place a single egg on a leaf, or deposit a cluster beneath it. When the caterpillars hatch, the nettle becomes their food and shelter. Young caterpillars may feed together, leaving holes, damaged edges, or partially skeletonized leaves. This reveals an important difference between adult and larval needs. An adult butterfly may visit colorful flowers for nectar, while its caterpillars require the leaves of particular host plants. A garden filled with flowers can feed adult butterflies, but without the right host plants, it may provide nowhere for the next generation to beg. But now, for an important correction. Not every butterfly needs nettles, and not every nettle-feeding species depends on them exclusively. Different butterflies use different host plants. For the red admiral, common nettle is its most important and widely available caterpillar food plant. The painted lady can also use nettle, but it has a much broader menu that includes thistles and several other plants. Other butterflies may depend on grasses, violets, buckthorns, brassicas, or completely different plant families. So removing every nettle will not eliminate every butterfly. That would be an exaggeration. But it can remove valuable breeding habitat for several species that regularly rely on it. Nettle is not the only butterfly nursery, but it can be one of the most productive. Simply allowing nettle to exist somewhere in the garden is not always enough. Its location and management can determine how useful it becomes. A patch repeatedly cut to the ground may never support eggs long enough for caterpillars to develop. Deep shade can also create different conditions, from a warm, sheltered area receiving sunlight. Instead of cutting every plant simultaneously, maintain several small groups at different stages. Leave one group standing while another produces fresh regrowth. Before trimming anything, inspect both sides of the leaves for eggs and caterpillars. You also do not need to surrender the entire garden. A nettle patch can be kept in a large container, enclosed by a root barrier, or maintained in a quiet corner, away from frequently used areas. The goal is not uncontrolled growth. Young nettle leaves have a long history of culinary use. They can be cooked in soups, added to fillings, or prepared as an infusion. But identification and preparation matter. Wear thick gloves and collect only tender young growth from plants you can identify with confidence. Avoid roadsides, contaminated ground, places visited heavily by animals, and areas treated with pesticides or herbicides. Wash the leaves thoroughly and cook them properly. Heat wilts the plant and disables the hairs responsible for the sting. Do not treat mature raw leaves like ordinary salad greens. You may see claims that nettle is automatically more nutritious than spinach. That comparison is too simple. Nutrient levels vary with the plant, soil, harvest stage, preparation method, and serving size. And edible does not mean appropriate for everyone. Health conditions, medications, allergies, pregnancy, and individual sensitivities can change what is safe. If you cut clean nettle shoots, another option is homemade liquid plant feed. Place the vegetation in a sturdy container. Add water, weigh the material down, and cover the container. As the plant tissue decomposes, some of its nutrients move into the liquid. The resulting concentrate is dark and usually smells very strong. It should be diluted with water before being applied directly to the soil around plant roots. But this is not a precisely formulated fertilizer. Its nutrient content can vary greatly depending on the nettles, the amount of water, temperature, fermentation time, and other conditions. Think of it as a supplemental homemade feed, not a guaranteed replacement for balanced fertilizer, healthy soil, compost, or a soil test. Apply it with a watering can. Do not turn fermented plant liquid into a fine spray, because aerosolized droplets may expose you to unwanted microorganisms. Nettle is valuable, but that does not mean it belongs everywhere. Common nettle spreads through seeds and creeping underground rhizomes. Those horizontal stems can produce new shoots beyond the original patch, gradually forming dense colonies. Plants emerging beside a doorway, narrow path, pool, pet area, or children's play space can cause repeated and unnecessary contact. In these locations, removal is reasonable. Wear gloves, long sleeves, long trousers, and closed shoes. Regular cutting can weaken unwanted growth, while careful digging can remove sections of spreading rhizome. However, check the leaves before cutting. If eggs or caterpillars are present, delay the work when practical, or preserve that occupied section until the insects have completed their development. You do not have to choose between letting nettles invade the garden and destroying every plant. Local control allows you to protect both people and wildlife. Here is the 5-step plan. First, identify the plant correctly before touching, eating, or using it. Second, choose a small sunny or partly sunny location away from paths, doors, pets, and play areas. Third, inspect the undersides of the leaves for eggs and caterpillars before cutting. Fourth, control underground spread with a deep barrier, a large container, or regular removal of escaping rhizomes. Fifth, use clean, unoccupied cuttings in compost or homemade liquid feed when appropriate. Avoid using plants that have set seed if you do not want nettles spreading elsewhere. The principle is simple. Control the plant where it creates a problem, but do not automatically erase it from every corner of the garden. A butterfly garden isn't built with flowers alone. Sometimes its most important plant is the one we were taught to fear. Would you keep a controlled patch of nettles in your yard or remove it completely? Tell us your country or region in the comments. Next, you may have been killing this bee lookalike, even though it can't sting you. Its adults pollinate flowers, while the larvae of some species can consume hundreds of aphids.